Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host Brian
Go on, everybody.
and host of the Strat Chat Pod and the Kyle Petty Show. Kyle Petty is back.
Yeah, so happy to be back. Woo!
As you can tell, we are here for the Amazing Race. This is the Amazing Race season 36, episode 3. We've arrived in Colombia, boys, for the next leg of the race. Right off the bat, I do want to note, though, very confused. Where was the travel? Where was the airport? Why didn't we see them traveling? Right? We normally see that. We at least normally, if they are going to transition us at the beginning of an episode, get to see or some indication of the travel. Felt a little. It felt off to me. Were either of you guys kind of thrown off by that to start?
I mean, it just shows a loading screen at this point.
It bothered me. I don't know. I feel
I
like
didn't
the
actually
last
notice
season, I
until you
think
said
maybe
it.
because last season we went back to
Yeah.
full blown seeing all the travel legs and seeing it. Even if they ended in one country and started in another, they informed us a little bit, right? This one they
Right.
completely didn't even bother, and they're just like, oh, here we are. So I don't know. I mean, I think some viewers may get that vibe at all. This is the first time them being in Quatole, Colombia on the Amazing Race. Um, the first route info was the El Peñón del Guatape. It was a big rock. They called it the Rock. A shout out Dwayne Johnson getting ready for WrestleMania in a few weeks. They said it was 60 stories up. The staircase was 150-foot climb. Pretty intense climb, honestly. I felt for some of the older contestants, including our Mama Walla Walla.
They were moving at a snail's pace this whole episode. This looked cool though. I would like to try this for myself. I thought it looked cool.
I mean, it looked cool from afar. I have no interest in trying to go up that. No, thank you. I don't even want to go up some apartment buildings. Never mind anything like this.
Hey yo.
So I'm
It
good.
did remind me of some Manhattan apartment buildings.
It's like, oh no, no, no. I'm getting horrible flashbacks.
The one thing I do want to note too is that they separated the teams into 3 groups separated by 15 minutes. Reason I bring that up is that in a normal leg or normal season, 15 minutes really isn't that big of a deal, especially a lot of times there's long car rides and train rides and travel and different departure times are going to end up being these equalizers, things I kind of complain about a lot. This season, at least we saw from the first 2 legs that they were very close together, everything geographically. Logan and people who were commenting were also kind of corroborating that about this season. So 15 minutes is a big deal, or transversely, half an hour is a big deal, especially when we saw the challenges that we saw. Not ridiculously time consuming, in my opinion, even if they tried to edit it that way. So I do think that for once the groupings and stuff will be significant. I wonder if that's going to be a constant theme through the season. Short geographic legs where these time differences will actually make a difference.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah, that's certainly
For some of
possible.
them, I think.
Yeah, if especially if you're going to be cutting out that travel thing, because that's where we see a lot of that other like staggered departure times. So maybe if you're staggering just at the beginning of the day, like in lieu of.
We had to get to the first detour after they climbed the rock. You had 2 choices here. You could do the rice and deja pasa, which was cooking detour, which was cooking up like the carne asada and the eggs and the sausage and the beans and stuff in the cart. And you had to go to another standout classic Amazing Race NPCs, the Tres Abuelas, including the one abuela who definitely had a mustache. Shout out. Tres Abuelas. We got some thumbs down from the Tres Abuelas. Make sure you cook things all the way through. I like them. And we'll get to the other one, but this was the obvious choice of detour.
I wanted to eat that food so bad.
Oh my god.
I was like, I had an early dinner and I was sitting there, I was like, yo, I'm hungry. It
I
looked
would also
good.
just like to cook that meal though. It looked
Yeah.
fun to cook. I like when different things are going off at different times. Because we feel like a proper chef, like handling all of it. This looked like it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It
because
was
you had
colorful
all
too.
the stove, like you had so many mini stove tops you can do, like because you can't do that in a normal kitchen. So it just turned out
No,
great.
oh my
It looked
gosh,
really
how
fun.
exciting!
Yeah.
Yeah, you ever play Overcooked?
Dude, I swear on my life, I was waiting for you to
Is that
say
an
the
app
same so
game
I
or what
go
is that?
say this is an overcooked
Yeah.
level because it's in some crazy location and you're cooking with your partner and you only have certain amount of spots. My wife and I love playing Overcooked.
It's
That's a
so
great game.
fun.
What is
I
that?
don't
What
know
is
if
that?
it's an app game. I know I have it on the Switch
Yeah,
because
it's
I
on
have
systems.
Overcooked
Yeah,
2.
me
Yeah,
too.
you've got all these different
That's what I'm playing.
burners,
I
and you gotta
play.
like
Yeah,
make sure you watch the rice on the pot. You know, you don't want it to burn. You gotta run around. Like,
Brian. It's
oh,
like a
it's
co-op.
such a good time.
It's a co-op game where you are playing in a kitchen, and so you'll have to say cook a cheeseburger. So like you have to have like cook. You're throwing the meat on the grill.
Yeah.
You're chopping the cheese up. You're grabbing the buns, and you and your teammate also like plate it. But then the levels start getting crazy. There's like might be floating. There might be a river in between. You might be a mining level when you're on tracks. Like it's fun. Like I said, me and Emily have played like some
It's so
it's
Is
fun.
fun.
it POV or is it like overhead?
No, it's overhead. You
Okay.
play as like cartoon characters, basically.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's very the avatars are actually very funny. There's like
Hmm.
Oh my gosh,
crazy
it's
different ones.
such an exciting game because like
Such a
even the
fun. No, it's
cheeseburger,
fun.
he's even telling it like not even really selling this proper, right? Because it takes X amount of time to chop up like the tomato, right? It takes X amount of time to fry up the beef. So like the timer is going on the beef. You have to keep an eye on that because you don't
If
want
you're
it to
making the
burn.
fries and they overcook, then they
Yes,
burn,
and
then they're
you
on
gotta like you
fire.
gotta
You gotta get
do I have enough
Do
time
you
to
like
chop
hit
up this
A to
tomato
like
before the beef is
is it like
up?
a tap game or do you have to do like a button combination? Like what's the
It's
You
no,
just
it's
gotta
more
like
like
tap
time
just to
management and
oh
cut.
time
strategy.
management? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like 10 seconds for something to cook, right? But if you leave it on for 20 seconds, it burns, and then it's
Oh,
Then
okay.
it's
So then
no
you need to go
good.
get it. So like while you'll engage in something, so then your character just does the motion like over
you're
and
running
over again.
around like crazy. You control your character. Like just look at just when you throw like a screenshot up, you'll see what it looks like,
Oh,
and
it's
you'll
so
get it in
good.
like two
I don't
seconds.
even need to. I know the. I never even played it or seen it. I know
Oh
exactly what
gosh,
it
it's
is.
so
No, it's
good.
so
It's
good.
so
No,
good.
so good. But it's a I think that would be a fun like some like side content streams. Us doing overcooked would be
Oh,
really
stop.
fun.
It's so good. You have to literally shout out things as
Oh,
it's
you
going.
fight. Me and my
I
wife
need
fight.
another lettuce.
Oh, we've gotten in fights. Like
Yes.
I've gotten mad. I hear her getting sassy. I'm getting sassy. I'm like, oh, we need to
Yeah.
not play over. Sometimes she'll ask me like, "What play Overcooked?" And I'm like, I don't want to get in a fight tonight.
No, doesn't feel like a good night for that.
Also, I need to get hit with. I started hitting her with like, you got to hit me with the yes chef, and here we are, like the bear.
So
Um,
silly.
we appreciate everybody letting us go on our side here, but let's get over to the second detour. Was the
Mhm.
UPAL pack. This was trying to pack the Jeeps. This was crazy. They went into like a wild arena. People are driving around honking the horn. These cars are packed like comically packed, like you're watching like a clown car, like a Harry Potter movie where somehow something can stack 8 miles high. And um, everyone realized that this was way too hard to try to
Yeah,
do, and
this is too
frankly
much.
wasn't probably very safe. It was a wild house in that environment. What did you guys think of it?
I wish this was the roadblock.
Like they had to do it.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
I would have liked to see everybody like panicking because this could have been like the bottleneck
Mhm. You're
thing
right.
of the.
Okay.
I
I
like
hear
that.
that. I just
Because like,
gosh, I
oh,
feel like
let's
this
go
has been
pick
so
some
painful to
beans.
watch.
Pick
Yeah,
some
let's go pick
effing
beans. No, I'm
berries.
sorry, I had to walk up 5 feet higher than you to pick beans at a slower rate. I was like, nah, like I don't know.
We're
I want to see
getting
Okay,
them.
you know
beans.
what?
Trust
I
me.
agree. I'm totally on board now
Like I
because
want to
that
see them
bean
put that
thing was
Jesus picture like
boring
on
as
like stilts
hell.
up.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Dude, I felt like this when they went into when they, when they went into that detour. It's like you ever seen like Star Wars Episode 2 where they're like in the Coliseum with all the aliens and they're like, rah! They're like it was like feral. They people were riled the fuck up. Like
Yeah, it
they
was like a
were,
drag race type of thing
dude.
where they're like,
It was
Yeah.
Mad Max Thunderdome. Like
they were doing like wheelies with those things. Like the back of like they could have had stored tires in the back. They could have like flipped the car over like it's like on like that way. Sure.
um,
That should have been the roadblock. Saying right now. Should have. Phil,
we
what's
can't
up?
we can't talk about this detour without talking about the twins.
Basil.
Twins, Basil, twins. Twins are dumb. Sorry, nice dudes. Real stupid. real stupid. They
Yeah.
ping ponging back and forth between these detours, and
Oof.
they burned so much time to end up
Yeah.
just cooking the stuff anyway. They would have been fine if they just
Just
stayed.
stayed.
Yeah.
They actually even would have been fine if they just did like the first time. Like they still may have been able to do the other one if they just spent a little bit more time on it. I mean, because people really struggled with the cooking. You just need to pick one thing and just stick with it. But once they switched to cooking, that should have just been it. Like
That's
they
it.
didn't even try. They took one look at those burners, they took one look at
Yeah,
those pans,
why?
and they're like, we're out. That recipe looks mad crazy and
It wasn't.
gone.
It wasn't them who said it, but somebody was like, "I don't even know how to fry an egg." I was like, "Yo, dog."
And it's
Like,
like, then what did you think you were ever going to accomplish on the Amazing Race if you can't fry an egg? Like,
yeah,
you know, we have
Kyle.
babies frying
These
eggs.
guys look like clones of that dude from Big Brother that made the rugs. Don't
Matt
they?
Turner, that's so disrespectful.
Don't they look like him a little bit? I've been waiting to say that because you haven't been on. I mean, Bill didn't watch it. Brett's never on
I
these,
mean,
but
not for nothing. I get it. I didn't have the thought when I saw them, but I do see the resemblance.
like if he like an evolution chart, he would butt off into them
That's very funny. The evolution
because
chart.
it's a gross mustache. They all have that gross mustache.
Yeah, I know.
Three
I
of
don't
them.
disagree. I don't disagree.
So I mean, there was 0 teams completed the packing, correct?
I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
mean,
no, I don't
I
think
didn't see
anybody did. I
anybody.
think everyone went to cooking.
that's it. You know
I'm
how
curious. That's got to go up there in the Hall of Fame. Logan, I know you're watching, bud. How is how common is that? How common is it where there's a detour that nobody completes? I'm sure like there are some, but probably not a ton, right?
they should just take this challenge and at the finale, where they kind of bring everything together, they just have to
Put it
all do
back.
that and just recreate it in whatever city in the US they're in, and just that's where it does it.
Brian, I love that. You're basically saying you're turning the final leg of the Amazing Race into like the final level of like a Sega game where you're just basically taking all the bosses from the levels
I mean,
before you get to the final boss. So you're basically going to come back and the Trace Abuelas are going to be there waiting.
yeah, they made it harder this time. You got to do it on a bicycle or something like.
This time it's like with Gordon Ramsay.
A unicycle.
They actually taste the food this time
Yeah.
and see if it's shitty.
I think that they should do that.
It's time to write a letter. Dear
Time to write a
Amazing
letter.
Race Production.
And just everything is in a line. So you don't even need to travel. It's just all the challenges you did one by one are in a line. And like you said, it's just a level harder. Like, got to cook the food. Now you got to taste it. How's that egg? Is it runny? Back in line, bitch.
Get back.
Back. Let's see. It's the twins being overwhelmed was classic. Another funny note there was Kosher and Karishma having to cook meat. Neither of them have ever eaten meat, which I thought was like a very funny tidbit. And they like rolled with the punches. Like there are plenty of people who would have made a big deal out of that, and they just
went with it.
And they
Survivor would have beaten that to death.
What?
Survivor would have beaten that to death. Can't do this. I've never done eating meat before. Shut up.
Oh
Day
my god,
5.
they would have made it the whole thing.
Yeah. Right.
The roadblock, we've kind of already teased it throughout our recap here, was who's feeling picky. You had to pick a kilo or 2.2 pounds of ripe cherries. And like Brian kind of mentioned, it was along a steep hillside. Our one boy, Sean, shout out to Sean, was very scared to walk through the cherry patch because it was high up in the sky. They really teased that too. That was like in the commercial during Survivor. They teased that moment like it was going to make them lose. I'm glad they did because of that. My big criticism of this, just like Brian said, it's like, where was the sense of urgency? What? No, that's not a good one. I rip the friggin' tree down, man. Like they probably gave them instructions like they couldn't like demolish the shit, but I'm sorry. Like grab. Like what are we doing here?
Maybe that is what added to make this episode feel so draggy, is that they were acting draggy. It's like, let's go. Like there was absolutely nothing exciting about this at all. Like I understand that part of the Amazing Race is about being culturally relevant, but this was an absolute like pain to watch. Like this was like a bona fide dirge.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
I mean, when people pick like stuff, they're getting paid by the hour. So they have like the Looney Tunes arms where they're like, it's like a windmill and they're
Right.
just like, like
Right.
pulling stuff in. Because what is this? Vinny had the great strategy. He put the basket in his lap and he just was doing two hands. And then I actually really glad they actually showed the people because, like you said, they're like, yummy. Drop it down.
Listen, I thought Mama Walla Walla, that's what I always call her,
Angie.
Mama Walla Walla, her like getting indignant and taking her time out in that patch. I thought she was gonna die out there like Don Corleone in the effing orange patch.
I honestly wish they lost. That was super annoying to me. That she was like, "Oh, let's just chill." Yeah,
It's like, what's happening? What's happening? We lost some money.
yeah. They make that challenge a little better. I wish like the
Like
whole
dead.
challenge was
Dead in the cherry patch. She was being so sassy.
yeah. It needed to be raining the entire time that challenge because of the uphill, steep, muddy
Hmm.
cliffs. That's the final. That's the boss. That's
Yeah.
the
Oh,
at
okay.
the end
That's
of the
that's the
finale.
ramped up version of
Somebody's
cherry
just dumping
picking
water down like a slope while you're trying to pick
with like
beer.
the big Beyonce fans like blowing down.
This was they have this every
Somebody with some
season.
oak tag on the side.
Somebody's just throwing balls at you while you're doing.
No, I was thinking that, Brian. People throwing the cherries at you or something,
Yeah.
but like I'm thinking that this place was very particular about
Definitely.
how much they were allowed to
Mhm.
pick. But this is my point here too. They do this every season, at least one episode. Now it's starting to become multiple episode season. This was just the Expedia app episode. That you go in the Expedia app and all those things are definitely on the damn app. They just do it more to hit the things to pay the bills. This is a pay the bills fill episode.
It's like a sponsored comp.
Yeah, this is a pay the bills episode.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like when we get challenges like that, Phil needs to be ahead of it, like with a caution flag in NASCAR. Like, hey, everybody, slow down. Time to pick some berries. Half speed, half speed.
I just need to, like I said, this one they're seeming like they're chilling a little bit too much right now. I need a little, and they did a good thing by making that first and second episode to have them continue racing. It kind of made them continue to keep moving, but I need a little bit less complacency, like you were saying, Kyle, in the next episode. I want to see some get up and go.
Yeah. And assuming that let's just say this was one of those like for pay episodes, right? Like maybe that's also why maybe they all knew that too, and that's why they were just kind of like, whatever. Like as long as I'm in front of somebody, like who cares?
Yeah,
Like,
that's a good point.
yeah.
Right. Do you want to go over the order of finish and then we can kind of talk on some of the teams, including the last place team?
Sure. So first place we have Ricky and Caesar. Second place, Big Jump, Amber and Vinny. Like we said, like the who knew that picking berries with two hands could jump you up like 5 or 6 spots.
Duh.
What a time to be alive. Third place, Derek and Shalisa. Fourth place, Juan and Shane. Fifth place, Rod and Letitia. Sixth place, Yvonne and Melissa. Seventh place, Sunny and Busy. Eighth place, Kishori and oh my God. Karishma. My damn
Karishma.
handwriting. Ninth place, Danny and Angie. 10th place, Michelle and Sean. And last place, the twins, Basil.
Shout out to the twins. Indecisiveness actually cost them their race. They weren't bummed. I don't know if those dudes have ever been bummed in their entire lives. They
were good sports.
They were good sports, nice characters to have.
Hey.
Have twins ever won the Amazing Race? I wonder. Have we ever? We haven't seen twins so far win. So, wonder if that's one of the. Logan, I know in his blogs talks about like which kind of certain stereotypical pairings do well and don't do well historically. So I'm curious how twins have fared historically. I'm sure we'll find out in the blog 6 years from now. Yeah, I mean, what else you guys got? I mean, that's really what I have here. This was, again, what's interesting here, man, is without breaking like scene by scene and cut by cut, not a ton to talk about for a 90-minute episode.
No.
Yeah, I mean the ending, they were kind of all bunched together, which I think is kind of cool that they were running around. Like the one dude almost fell down the cliff trying to pass Juan, and Shane almost like kind of felt like, I think it was Juan who was running on the side and he could have definitely fallen down that cliff, which would have been awesome TV.
Oh my
But
god, yeah. Phil, Phil,
yeah, well, what's also
oh!
Sean like almost he slipped down the cliff too. Like he came the other way.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
Sean.
I was getting very mad at Sean with his stance that he wasn't going to walk. And if
Nah,
it was,
that was whack. That's
dude, I
whack.
was getting very. I'm sorry though too. This is another thing. It's just like what I've said. Like you don't go in Survivor if you can't swim. Like being afraid of heights on The Amazing Race is a really bad mix. There, they make you
Yeah, it's really
skydive all the
strange.
time. They make you fly. They make you go on mountains. Like what are you talking about, dude?
Right.
It's like saying you're gonna go on The Amazing Race and you're afraid of buses,
Yeah, I'm afraid of traveling or planes. It's like yikes.
afraid of foreign languages.
Yikes.
I'm
Yeah,
afraid
It
of
was
anyone who
rather
doesn't speak English.
I was entertained by Angie and Danny in the beginning of the episode, in those little motorboat things that like stalled out, and then
Okay.
those two girls were behind, and I don't remember anyone's names,
the
unfortunately.
cousins.
Other than okay, and they were like, "Oh, you'll wait for us," and Danny's like, "Yeah, we'll wait." She's like, "Danny,
Yeah.
no!" Like
Danny,
it's like, okay,
shut
they're
up.
fun.
And then
Yeah,
she got revenge and took 45 minutes to pick berries.
yeah, but yeah, they're fun. They're entertaining.
That is true. A broken boat is a very stereotypical
And
Amazing
like they
Race
can't
thing
get another
have
boat.
happen.
Like they just sit there and let everyone run ahead of them. Like, what is
They
that? They're
They're
just so
waiting for the
complacent.
Coast Guard.
Yeah, and any of these top teams are like, yo, what the fuck? Like, get me in another boat.
Right.
um also shout out thoughts and prayers. Was it Yvonne or was it Melissa's
Sonny's grandma.
or Sonny's grandma? Okay, yeah, Sonny's grandma passed away. Oh yeah, Sonny's son with Sonny and Busy. But she was kind of cool saying that her grandma grew up on the farm, and so she found herself like on a farm that like the day after her grandma passed, like doing something she did. So I thought that was a cool moment. I could use a little bit more of that stuff. It's not like a big like sob story like Survivor will do. They did it in like 30 seconds. I would just like a little bit more of that stuff with the people if we're gonna have 90 minutes. I want to get to know these people a little bit more. This first two episodes I thought did a good job. This one I thought didn't do as great of a job as getting us to know people better. So
I still love the grandparents.
they're very funny. They're very honest.
Like talking shit to each other. I like that.
You're talking about Derek and Shalisa.
Yeah, I really like them.
Yeah, I like them a lot too.
And
Kyle, who are your standout teams? This is your first time on the season, so we're kind of curious who you like.
I mean, I only remember two names, and that's
you
that's
like
only
Angie
that's
and
Angie
Danny.
and Denny. So I feel like I just have to just go with them because I couldn't tell you anything about anybody else.
Team Walla Walla.
Yeah, why is she Mama Walla Walla?
Because they're from Walla Walla, Washington.
That's a place. Walla Walla.
Yeah.
No,
Walla
Danny and
Walla,
Angie to
Washington.
me.
All right, don't say yeah as if like everyone
It's
knows
not like
about
a it's
this, like,
not a it's a pretty it's a not like New York City, but Walla Walla. I feel like it's a relatively known, like heard of thing. I don't know.
I've never heard of it.
oh, thank God.
Damn it, Brian.
I thought they could have gone one or two ways
Yeah.
for me.
Nah,
Walla
you
Walla is
know.
a city in the seat of government
You
of
know what,
Walla
Kyle,
Walla
even if I
County,
didn't-
Washington.
Kyle, even
The
if I didn't know, I
population
would
of
have lied and said I didn't.
34,000.
Just for the moment.
Thank God.
I do wish, like, I would love to see the timers on how long people were in challenges, though, like how long they were picking berries. Like, I would like to know, like, kind of in a slot of like who did these challenges the quickest. I think that'd be
That'd be
something really
interesting
cool.
to see.
Just because, like, obviously, the first person that gets to the rope, but the berries one specifically because there's so many people there. I want to know how long. What was the overlap like?
Right.
How long was Danny and Angie really there?
Yeah, it also
Not as
gives you an
long.
idea of like how they'll stack up in other things later. Like
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
really know
I
where
wanna know.
people stand.
Give me the stats, baby.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's crazy. Like looked up Walla Walla, Washington. Looks like a charming little town.
I thought he was gonna say
Does
it's not
it?
real.
No, it's real. Oh, it's real, and it looks charming.
And what did you say the population was? 4,000?
34,000.
Two.
It looks like it's like kind of like it says it's one of the most fertile agricultural spots in the United States. It's like looks like very rolling hills and trees and wine and vineyards and stuff.
This is in Seattle or Washington State.
Yes, in Washington. It is in Walla Walla. It is a thriving metropolis, boys. Okay, thriving. Shout out to any viewers from Walla Walla watching. or anybody's ever been to
No.
the Tri-County Walla Walla area, please let me know.
Anybody from Walla Walla, our deepest apologies.
Oh, hey, yo, I like it.
The Wallowa Whitman National Forest. Damn, there's a lot going on here. Okay, cool. We are covering everything and anything reality TV, and unfortunately, that also means Survivor will be the next review, or the review prior to this, where we're in a lot worse mood. But Kyle, before we go to that review, what's going on with Kyle Petty Show and the Strat Chat Pod?
Oh, well, Kyle Petty Show is very niche. That's just for our Long Island theater nerds. But Strat Chat, we're also carrying the Survivor 46 torch. And I'm also lamenting over that. You can watch that live on Mondays at 9. Watch me cry for about an hour. But Big Brother Canada, that's been on fire. We're live with that on Thursdays at 9 too. And we'll also be picking up that terrible challenge torch when All Stars starts, sadly, in 2 weeks.
You gotta plug your AU,
right?
Survivor AU.
Too
You had a good
soon.
guest on.
Oh, we did have a good guest on for Australian Survivor. Yes, we had the winner of Survivor Australia on, Mr. Ferris Basal, and we had ourselves a grand old time. That was a 2-hour conversation that was not supposed to be.
Wow.
We went
You
an
had
hour
him from the
over.
beginning.
Look
You
at
had
you.
him you had him pegged from the beginning to
Yeah,
before the
I
season
sure did.
started.
Yeah, you were on the bit. Yeah,
First,
sure.
yep, I was big on him from the very beginning, and I was like, finally, it paid off. I usually have the worst picks.
There you go.
But yeah, finally won one.
Yeah, make sure you check out the Strat Chat Pod. And for myself, Brian, Kyle, everyone at the Reality Guys, thank you so much for watching. Until the next review, see ya.